GoMovieTalks. Hello, viewers of Go Movie Talks. Hello, Freddy. We definitely can't even. Okay.
Not today.
Thank you for being here today. To all of you, to my beloved co-host, Freddy. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm peachy, I'll say.
Beachy. How come?
Yeah, because is there any other answer y'all want to hear? No, but for real, I'm actually glad we're recording finally. I needed it,
Ah,
so
yeah.
I'm more than ready. Maria Laura, what are we talking about today?
Oh my God, it's definitely the kind of movies that leave you thinking for a long time after you finish watching it. Arrival.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for that beautiful recommendation, Freddie. Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't sure if you were gonna like Arrival. It was a recommendation of mine, like she said. This movie holds a very special place, and I assumed Marilara would like it too. I mean, viewers, if you don't remember or if we haven't mentioned it before, we are both language teachers. We both
Ah,
taught English for quite a few years. Marilara is sometimes still at it. So this movie in particular, and because of the language part, not well, and the teaching,
wow.
actually, there's some teaching in the movie, and
Yes.
yes, it's very relatable to us. Everything that's portrayed. Um,
Exactly.
do
Yeah.
you wanna do you wanna give a quick summary of the movie, or
Of
should I?
course, of course. Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, it's not a typical aliens movie, okay? I mean, there's nothing you can expect from the movie. It's rather a very specific and very niche movie. As Freddie said, is part of the main plot in the movie is reaching communication with the aliens that eventually access the earth, and there is no idea from us humans how to communicate with them, as well as there is no idea from them how to communicate with us. Okay, so everything has to start from scratch, and that's beautiful, because it reflects how complex it is to develop an understanding, okay, a
Yes,
common understanding among parts, okay. Actually, you can notice a huge difference between the human species versus the alien species. I mean, they are very different, very particular. There's actually a particular context where these people get to know each other, okay? And again, the actually the main message is that sometimes you fear something just because you fear, okay? Not
just
because
because you don't understand it.
exactly. You have no idea how you fear. But actually, I love the way they portrayed how coming to linguistic understanding it is, okay, the complexities of that, okay, you have to develop not only a process of contact, physical contact, but at the same time, start envisioning how
Asian when they start teaching the language, that I remember the
exactly.
first time watching the movie and seeing that, and yes, lady, you are so right. You need to remove the layers and to show yourself, and
Yes,
just with body language, because that is the most
exactly.
obvious to begin with.
The most universal,
it,
actually.
it is universal, exactly, and it's something that cannot be taught. It's
Yes.
it's the basic.
Hmm.
So we just with your face, the way you approach, your mannerisms, you are already saying,
Exactly.
let's begin. this
Yeah,
is this is the starting point, and this is me. Who are you? That
exactly.
uh
Yes.
I remember
That
I saw that and
first,
like, yes.
That first contact is mainly physical, okay?
Mhm.
Throughout observation, close observation of different movements and different approaches, is that you finally come to an understanding and then you develop possible references of language, okay?
And don't get it twisted. This is exactly how you're supposed to teach a language, because you need to be very much aware of the fact that the other person will not understand anything of what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But little by little, you just start putting the pieces together, because that's the other very interesting part. There is a very clear goal on the army guy, Whitaker.
Yes.
I remember the actor's name. Um, he wants to ask, well, not even him. Uh, the main actress wants to ask a very specific question. What is your purpose? And she pretty much developed an entire curriculum on
Exactly.
everything that needs to be taught prior to ask that very simple
Oh
question.
my God. Yes. So intellectual. So
Yes,
intellectual.
yes, yes. And that is exactly the whole point of, going to class and learning about burgers and restaurants and TV shows and all of that. Because when you're having a conversation, you need those references. And
Exactly.
and a lot of people, and even more so here in the US, we understand your time is valuable, but at the same time is, how do you plan to learn a language in 1 or 2 months? You need to develop the pool of vocabulary, the grammar, all of those tools when
And
they come together just for one basic conversation.
the most important parts, observation and interpretation.
Mm, mm, mm,
So
mm.
that's not something you can develop, is it? That's not something that occurs the same with all of the languages, okay? That's not something that occurs the same with all of the cultures, okay? So
That is,
it is a
I'm glad you
complex
just mentioned
process.
the key word, culture.
Yes,
Culture and language are so ingrained. You
yes,
can learn so much about a culture through the language they speak. And this movie represented that immaculately. I was
yes.
just, wow, how can you say so much without actually saying it? They came up with a brand new language. It doesn't exist. Most likely it will never exist because it plays with the time loop. And
Mhm.
but even still,
Not
they
for
did
human
say
beings.
exactly. Of course, not for us exactly. We're in one timeline, at least for
Exactly.
now.
Yes.
But at the same time, is this alien race is capable of just seeing time in one plane, and they can go back and forward without necessary. Of course, this is where the science fiction comes in. The understanding of that language is what allowed her, the main character, to do the same as the aliens. So what that is entailing is, oh, I can see, or I have a different understanding based on their culture and their language, and that applies 100% to other languages. That's why, and this is very me. This is something that I've always lived by. Whenever I want to go to a certain destination, I want to have some kind of understanding of the language first, because I know that is the key to better understand the culture once you're there.
It's actually very interesting because I understand that not everybody has to be a teacher, not everybody has to needs to have that understanding of language,
We're
but
discussing we're discussing a movie, and we're talking about teaching and culture, and we haven't really discussed the movie.
but
But
that's
that's what
what
the movie is
happens in
about.
the movie.
That's what the movie is about. Yes,
But
exactly. We're not talking
it's
about the story. That's really secondary.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there is a character in the movie that easily and very well portrays how society sometimes reacts to towards the understanding. through language, okay, which is the captain of the mission, okay? He doesn't understand how these scientists are taking that much long to develop a code or to understand what aliens are saying. They're linguists. They're supposed to know, okay? And they're supposed to give us immediate answers. No, 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 honey. It is not like that. We have to come to an understanding each other, okay? And it takes time. It takes a lot of cognitive processes, recognition,
Patterns, making patterns.
remembering, association. They apply
Mhm.
a lot of association among all of those figures these aliens drew through that sort of ink.
Whatever. Mhm.
They spread through their tentacles.
Tentacles. Mhm.
And it doesn't come from one day to another. I mean, it's a process. It's a process. So it's interesting because only experts on the matter know what it is about. Okay? And only experts of the matter don't get pissed off, don't get angry, don't make jokes about it because they understand the process. Okay? So it's like again, when you don't understand, you react with certain fear, and that fear makes you develop other emotions, anger, I don't know, whatever. Okay. So it happens with the ignorance of any topic. So that was what this movie was all about. Okay, let's develop some understanding because they don't look like they're attacking. None of them. Okay. They're not doing absolutely anything.
Nothing. Yes, they literally just got there and waiting for interaction.
They
And
just placed themselves in different points of the world at the same
they
time.
were pretty much waiting for somebody to understand that, hey, we're here.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
want to, but you have to try. And
And
nobody was trying.
of course, they are millions of years more evolution than human beings. So they were waiting for that particular person, and they knew who that person was. Okay, but no one knew. Everyone was hysterical. Everyone was to okay, let's go to war because that's the way we know how to solve issues, how to solve problems. What a huge criticism, by the way. Okay. So certainly, the movie has an incredible message, as many of the movies we have discussed in this show. Okay. But again, there is a lot in this movie that you learn, that you digest, that you masticate, and that you continue to think over and over for a long time after you finish watching it.
And more importantly, which is I think also very important element in every movie we have discussed so far. Even if you don't have an appreciation on all of this language matters and the teaching and the process, there is a still, I don't want to use a very bare bones story that you can still follow.
Yes,
So that is also, I appreciate that a lot because
yes.
that means there are layers. Different people can appreciate the movie for very different reasons. And that is exactly what a good movie should try to achieve because there is always something for everybody. And just to give you an example, any good or very good Disney movie does that. You have what attracts the kids, which is most likely the colors, the characters, but you have the very relatable story that will most likely catch the adults' attention. That's how you get both groups. In that case, parents and children. Of course,
Absolutely.
parents are the ones who pay for the ticket, so you have to also make the parents like the movie. In this case, that's not really the target. Kids are not in the picture, but within adults, you have those who, oh, I like aliens. I have to somehow make it interesting for that audience. But at the same time, I want to cover this very intellectual topic. How can I incorporate that into a more palatable storyline that
Oh,
everybody can like? So that balance and oh, and the fact that it was just perfectly executed. That
yes.
I remember, if I remember correctly, that's the first movie that I watched from Villeneuve. I was just mesmerized. Since then,
Absolutely.
and well, currently
Absolutely.
he's become very not famous, but successful with the Doom movies. I haven't watched any. I will admit to that because I read the books years ago, so I already know what they are about. I guess I'm waiting till everything quiets down to be
Mhm.
able to appreciate it without the external opinion. But I already know they are good just from the director and the cast. But back to this one, Arrival. I remember I watched it. Everybody was talking about it. Uh, I no, Amy Adams. I was gonna say Rachel Adams. No,
Yeah.
sorry. Hey, I love Amy Adams. So as soon as I saw her and then Whitaker as well, like, of course I'm watching this. I don't care what it is about. I'll watch it. And when I watched it, I'm like, oh wow.
And all this takes me back to the time in which you got mad because I pronounced tortilla instead of tortilla. And as a matter of fact, people, when you find a Freddy not understanding the reasons why you pronounce tortilla, just remind them about this movie.
I'm Amy. I'm Amy Adams telling you the way to say it to communicate better.
No, honey, because actually the reasons why your friends in the United States pronounce it tortilla obeys cultural reasons, okay, of pronunciation, okay? They assume they don't have that sound.
Exactly. You just said it. They assume. I'm telling you, you don't have
They
to
assume
assume.
that because they don't have that sound incorporated in their language with double L. Double L is pronounced
Exactly.
like
But
L.
I'm correcting you. Duh.
Again, when you find someone who is trying to tell you to pronounce tortilla instead of tortilla, just remind them about that movie. Period. Period. And you shut up. You slap on his face with that answer.
She just doesn't want to admit she's mispronouncing.
So,
My God.
so again, teacher, when you don't understand those facts, you're
As
the
a
captain.
teacher, I'm explaining the right
You're
pronunciation.
the
And you're still
captain.
going back at it.
The captain. Oh, but why?
I I already know why. What are you talking about? Oh my
All right.
God. This
So,
late.
so there's another interesting and very touching part, which is the development of this character, the emotional development of this character throughout her what do you call them? When you see things ahead of time, she foresees the future, okay? And spoiling, by the way, uh, all that imagery that we believe it's part of her past is actually her future telling her what's going to happen next. And actually, there's a lot there that helps her to communicate with others so as to avoid a war between aliens and
Pretty much the movie since the very beginning told you she had the capacity to learn the language because she had visions. But I mean, since you don't really have the understanding of how what's gonna happen, you just think she had lost a daughter, but rather is she will in the future.
And that takes us to a question. Even when you know something really painful is going to happen to you, would you be able to live it anyways? So it's kind of very interesting. Very
Yes, that
interesting.
is a very interesting question proposed by the movie. That mm-mm-mm.
Exactly. So what would you do, Freddie, if you know a future like that? where, someone you love is gonna die in the teenagehood and you
I mean,
won't avoid it.
who was that question? Isn't it Shakespeare? I think I know it's somebody, a writer, a very famous writer. Would you rather uh again, don't quote me on this, that's not how it goes, but it means to say, would you rather uh love and die, or die without ever having loved, something like that. I don't remember the quote. I will have to Google it. I'll probably do it next time I get while you're talking. Uh, but uh, well, she's complaining about tortilla. Um,
No, actually, you are the one who
I'll
complains
use
about
that time
tortilla.
wisely. I'll use that time
You
wisely.
are the one who complains about tortilla. I love it.
No, I'm complaining about tortilla. You were complaining about tortilla. Um, okay, so yes, personally, I would definitely that I think that's the basis of life. Not so much taking a risk, but understanding that everything comes to an end. Because if everything were eternal, where is the value on what it is you're going through? Otherwise, you take it for not for account. You take it for granted, and then it really loses its value. So
Okay.
let's face it, in reality is whenever you make make up a family, or make a friendship, or anything, the chance of that person dying at any moment, it's always there. Same with anything you do. You could just go out for a walk on the street and somebody can run over you. So that risk is always there. So the fact that the movie asks the question, I think that the whole movie also sets up that very existential question, because just by existing, you the
Totally.
risk of anything happening to you and your loved beings is it's always going to be there. For instance, having you and I share this, and most likely you viewers as well. Those who have pets, are you really not gonna ever have a pet because it will eventually pass away? I mean, it's gonna happen. It's a matter of when. But that also makes that companionship more special, because you have to treasure those moments you're given.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
But
And,
Laura, question back to you. Would you?
of course, I do that every day, actually. I do that every day. Just because of the fact that I don't have any visual on how I'm gonna die, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna die. So technically, we all know what the future is. So, I mean, will there be any crisis? Of course. I mean, crises have
Daily, daily people.
daily. Exactly. I mean, crises have existed since the world began and probably before that. So, again, I mean, nothing will ever be perfect. Nothing will ever be like, set into a particular shape. So, absolutely, absolutely, yes. And
And more importantly, and the movie also stresses this out, it's your job to focus on the good, because honestly, you will always get a reason to complain, to avoid doing something, whatever. It's really up to you just to say, you know what? Yes, something bad will happen, may happen, but it's going to be so enjoyable, just the ride to get there, or taking that chance of doing something, that's when you say, yeah, I'll do it. Even right now, like these past 2 weeks, I wish I could just go back and change time, but at the same time, is no, I'm actually still enjoying my ride. Do I want to jump ship and possibly drown while trying? Yes, but here I am. I always look at the bright side of things. That's really an acquired skill. You
Exactly.
need to learn it at some point in your life.
And it's part of everything. I mean, probably at some point you're not having a good time, and it's pretty human not to feel good about it, because it's the type of time you're having at the moment, okay? Difficulties happen, and I mean, if you feel extremely happy in front of difficulties, that's a serious problem. That's very serious. So live the moment and cry it the times you need to cry it, and then continue because you never
Feel
know.
those emotions. Let them flourish. That's also part
Exactly.
of being a human being, going through your emotions.
Inside out, remember? Oh.
Yes. No, but even here, it's again, the Amy's character proposes the exact same thing. Yes, eventually she will die, but you will get a lot of good memories and you will build a family. I mean, that's to the to be husband, based on the movie. She asked the question, are you actually willing to go on this journey with me, very much knowing that it's gonna have a tragic ending? So it's a fair question. She's actually allowing the other person to make the choice, which is very nice. Always being able to decide for yourself, it's fantastic. But at the same time, is yeah, that's how it's gonna end. Do you want to do it?
I love her character.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
Very, very intellectual,
Yes.
yet um,
Determined,
very,
like,
very down to earth. She's just understanding. I don't know. I respect her so much. I've
in
been a huge
in
fan of this movie ever since I watched it.
her will to
To
solve
live,
a problem, you know?
ah,
Like,
just to live. Yeah,
oh,
she sees a problem, she tackles
yes,
it. She doesn't know if she's gonna succeed, but she tries. She
exactly.
does her best,
And
and
pretty much, and but half of the movie you think, oh, she looks like a very depressive woman. No, she's not depressive at all. I mean, she's just
she's just
someone who is
quiet and
determined to
reserved.
do something.
Yes, exactly. She's just reserved.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love her. I love her. I loved all the movie, but her character was amazing. So beautiful.
Yeah, very inspiring. I find the movie, the character, the way the character portrays itself. Of course, the writing. That's how. That's well, the writing does part of it, but yeah, her acting in this movie, I also think this is the turning point. Not necessarily in her career, but in my eyes, when I saw her acting here, is look at Amy. She knows how to act. This is
How
fantastic.
beautiful she is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Freddie, unfortunately, as in all of our shows, there is a time to end, and I think we have come to it. Okay, so it is time to say goodbye to our viewers, which are more than four, by the way. Okay, I've realized I've read some numbers, and I'm pretty glad about it. Thank you, people. Those of
Thank
you who
you,
are
five
watching
followers.
us.
No, but for real.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
glad both all of y'all who are watching. Again, this is just having fun. Different opinions. Sometimes we go way too in depth, but at the same time, that's exactly why we love doing what we do. It's, in our opinion, a different take, and that's why we're here. We want to give you a different perspective on possibly a matter that has been discussed 1,000 times.
Arrival is the name of the movie. Please, if you haven't watched that, stop what you're doing, search for the movie, and watch it because
Exactly.
there won't be any
You're watching
disappointment.
this, you're driving, stop,
You're feeding your baby. Stop.
stop, stop.
Stop everything.
Yes, exactly. Please and watch it now. It this is the perfect movie. I'd say it's meant for everybody. because there is something for everybody. I really think it, just the alien theme, anybody can just get hooked on that. And then the twist of saving the world from a war, it's like, where is this coming from? I don't care. I like it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
so, oh, I'm
Okay,
seeing
people.
it in the future. Yes,
Stop
you
of
are, Amy.
war.
Yes, you are.
Stop war. That's not nice. That's not
Yeah,
cool.
very topical, actually. Yeah, they weren't in the movie, but yes, all of this communication and ending war is very topical, sadly, but it is. So, yes, we need to be more like Amy's character, people.
Yeah,
Stop war.
very appropriate movie to watch this time.
Yeah. And
Okay,
relate to others. Communicate. That's the key for everything. We're telling you.
talk.
All right. I guess this is it, Maria Laura.
This is it. Thank
Like,
you very much.
subscribe, follow us on our all socials. Thank you for watching. This was Arrival, and thanks for watching Go Movie Talks. See you next time.
Let's go movie talks. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. Go Movie Talks.